Welcome. This is the webinar on goal setting as a tool for effective and inclusive online education. This webinar is part of a series of 5 webinars. Today's topic is goal setting theory. With me is Michaela Schippers. Welcome, Michaela. Tell us, who is Michaela?
I'm Professor Michaela Schippers, professor at the University of Erasmus University in Rotterdam, Rotterdam School of Management. And basically my goal in life is to optimize well-being and study success of students, but also in general of society.
So you're really passionate about this topic.
Yes, definitely.
The research on goal setting is not very old. It started in 1960. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yes, it's really nice research. Edwin Locke, I work with him and he's now in his 80s, but still very passionate about goal setting. What he did was basically look at if people set specific task-related goals, if that helped the outcomes. Yeah. Well, he did a lot of research with all kinds of mediators and moderators and found over the board that there's a very strong effect. So if you're really setting goals, very specific, time-bound, etc., that worked. And then we started to do this goal-setting research, and then we found out that goals are really important, but you can also have very broad goals and life goals, and that can even relate to very specific study success and all these kind of things. So that was really nice to see.
And why do we need goals? Can you tell us? Because, you can enhance study success in all kind of different ways, but goal setting really is important.
Yes, we've seen in the first video that it really helps drive study success, also increase study success and decreases dropout rates. Yeah. And so why is that related? Well, we think that it's because it increases self-regulatory behaviors. So for instance, if you ask a fellow student asks you to go for a beer on the night of the exam, then you say, normally you would say, yes, yeah, of course I'm going and I don't want to, study anymore and I've done enough already, let's go for that beer. But if you have done goal setting, there might be an increased chance that you say, hey, let's go tomorrow after the exam. So you still go for that beer and there's a very small difference, only the day is different, but then you have kind of reward for your hard work.
Is that a psychological machine behind all of this?
Yes, yeah. So there's a lot of work on self-regulatory behavior. So how do we restrain ourselves in certain points in time, like eating, overeating, drinking? So there's a very large body of research showing that there's goal setting helps, for instance, this self-regulation. So it's not all discipline and you have to, and it's really difficult. You can just write about goals and that helps already.
Okay. Writing about goals is part of what you call lifecrafting. Can you tell us about lifecrafting in the context of goal setting?
Yes, it's a good. Basically, it's important to set very concrete goals, but there's a whole part before that. So lifecrafting is a very broad process where we look at all areas of life. For instance, you want to know your career, but also think about during your studies how you want your friends, what you really like to do. So all these areas of life, your financial problems, your habits. So it is goal setting, but it's in all areas of life. And so we will come to the definition of lifecrafting in a minute. So this is I defined it as an active process where people set goals for important areas of life and make really concrete plans. And they undertake actions to change and to make sure it's more in line with their values and wishes.
Yeah. So if you engage in goal setting in the context of, say, increase in academic success, you also go into this process.
Yes.
And you do broader things than only talking about and thinking about your academic study. That's really the essence.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of when you were in school, people would ask, what do you want to become when you grow up? And then you think, yeah, maybe I want to be a fireman or I want to do this. So it's very shallow thinking. It's being, but with this you really do it in a structured way. You don't think about the outcome first. You just think, okay, what did I like as a kid? What would I like to learn? What do I like to unlearn? What are habits that I don't like? Yeah. So that's why it's much broader than just setting a goal.
Yeah. It's also related with, I would say, some philosophical principles and happiness. You
Yes.
call it
Ikigai.
Ikigai.
Ikigai, yeah, that's purpose.
It's hard
in
to
life.
pronounce.
Yes.
Tell us about Ikigai. It sounds
Yes.
really nice. Is it Japanese or Chinese?
It's a Japanese word, and it's the only word that has, it says purpose in life, that has it in one word. And it's really important in Japan, but let me tell about this passion, plan, and public, the 3 Ps, are also on this slide still. So a purpose in life is really a fundamental human need. And in Japan, there was a research journalist, Dan Buettner, who looked into how do people become 100 plus? He wanted to know. So he went to all the hotspots in the world where a lot of centennials, I think, like
centennials,
people. And so he found on Okinawa, he found out that ikigai was a word that people used and asked each other, "Do you have ikigai?" And that could be anything, like taking care of the grandchildren, having a nice job to do. And so that is when he said this is a really important thing. And what we see is that people that have ikigai also live longer on average, 7 years longer on average. So it's been linked to increased well-being, happiness, resilience, and longevity.
So what is Ikigai for you then?
Ikigai, yeah, that's actually what you find out when you write about your purpose in life. And for me, Ikigai is to optimize performance and happiness of all people. That is my purpose in life.
That's a very broad passion.
It's a very broad passion, yeah. And I do it via research. I'm really a researcher. I'm really a professor. I really like to do the research. And when I found these nice results, I got really happy.
We have a separate video on theory. We can explain that in a while. Since, I don't know, 1960s or so, I mean, you've done your research. How has research advanced in this particular area?
Well, actually, we now show all that you don't have to be very specific. You can also have broad life goals. And it was really important how much people wrote about it, the number of words they used, and also how specific they became. That is also in goal-setting theory the case, but we found out when we rated for specific how specific people wrote, like, I want to increase my physical fitness. And then people who only wrote very broadly about this didn't really have a large relation with study success, interestingly enough. But people who wrote very specific things, like I want to do this 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, or Friday, and then also the club where they were going to train and what they were going to train, like football or anything else. They had this relationship with study success. And all these factors were independently contributing to study success. Meaning that if we look at only one of them, it increases study success, but if we add the number of words, it also has an independent relationship with study success. So the more you write, the better it is. The more specific you are, the better it is.
Okay.
So all these.
And research about Lifecrafting, have you done that as well?
Yes. So an important thing was also these life goals do not have to be very specific. And the Lifecrafting intervention also helps people, but it is also about what do I want from life? What is really important for me to achieve in life? So the two are very similar. It's just a different version. So for instance, we ask people to contrast it with their life if they go on like this. What if you have the ideal life that you want to achieve? But what is your life going to look like if you go on this path? So this mental contrasting is important.
We're going to discuss a few of the articles that are based on your research.
Yes.
There's one, I think it's Elsevier. This is on goal setting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Tell us about the essence, the layman's version of this research paper.
Yeah, it was with actually Edwin Locke and Gary Latham, the founders of goal setting theory. And of course a lot of other colleagues from my team. And writing about goals and plans, regardless of goal type, boosts academic performance. It was contemporary educational psychology. And we used it in 2 samples. So we have first-year students, 700 each, and they come in our university, and we, in the first trimester, after the first 3 weeks, we give them the intervention and we say, hey, you really need to do this as part of the course.
And they have to perform. Everybody needs to engage in it.
Yes, everybody. It's part of the
course.
Yeah. And so we saw here, this is the paper that says 22% increase, the number of words is important, so amount and the quality of effort enhance the effect, and it didn't matter what topic they wrote about. So this is the paper, if you want to know more, this is the one you can look at.
The other paper is about Lifecrafting, isn't it?
Yes.
This was quite popular, if I see the downloads.
Yeah, it has almost 60,000 downloads now, or at least views.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because it's a conceptual paper, and I also talk about the meaning in life, which a lot of people find interesting, hopefully, and purpose and meaning. And I still get emails from all over the world to talk more about this paper, but they also want to kind of monetize it. Can we help people in companies? Can we help people in all kinds of settings with this intervention, which is actually possible.
Is this for practitioners only or for academics only, this paper? Because it's an academic paper, so could I read it and understand what's in there?
I'm sure you can. Yeah, I'm sure you can. Well, it is written in a very, let's say, easy to read manner. Okay, and it's also conceptual, so there's not a lot of figures in it, and it's open access.
Open access, so it's for free.
Oh, yes. You can download it whenever you want.
The third paper is an interesting topic. It's about a chatbot.
Yes.
We
developed a chatbot, and before that we wanted to write a conceptual paper about what a review paper or a kind of review. What are the benefits of doing a chatbot for students, and how can you optimize academic performance with it, and also mental health of students.
And what is the outcome of, what is the result of the paper?
Well, it's conceptual, so it's still really saying there's a lot of advantages, and there's of course some disadvantages, because people, what we see is that people like to talk to a real person sometimes, but the benefit of this is that it's 24 hours a day available, and a lot of students were very enthusiastic about it, and the staff was very skeptical about doing this. They were seeing the downsides, and the students were seeing the upsides of it.
We have a different webinar on the chatbot, so yes. If you want to know more, then please watch that video. This was it. If you want to know more about this topic and about the research, please visit the website of Erasmus Center for Study and Career Success, or mail us at goalsetting@rsm. Thank you for watching.